you want to find a good book to read, then snap your fingers and follow me. At Black Girls Inc. will help you find that book, the perfect book for you to read. From black authors that look like you and me, here on Black Girls Inc. with Sister Goose and Sugar Mommy. Here on Black Girls Inc. I never get tired of that song, y'all. I'm sorry. What's up? Welcome to Black Girls Inc. It is your girl, Sister Goose, and I got Sugar Mama on the sideline. Say hey, Mama. Hey. And today I am excited because we're about to do our women's panel. I'm about to bring in my pen sisters, and we are going to talk about the topic of different type of love that as women experience. So everybody snap your fingers as I bring my sisters in. Paula, Katrina, Bianca.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey, y'all.
Hey. Hey, now I'm telling you all specifically, I brought these wonderful three women in this topic because they all have a book that talk about some type of love. So I'm going to give them all a chance to tell you their book and their book title and what it's about. And then we're going to jump into this topic. So Paula Katrina, we're going to start with the OG of Black Girls Inc. first because she's one of my original members. Paula Katrina, can you please let everyone know the title of your book and what it is about?
I am poet Katrina McCain, and the title of my book is Because She Decided to Love. It is a collection of poetry about all types of love, family, romantic love, love for God, heartbreak is in there, religious section is in there. It's all kinds of love. I am on all social media platforms at Poet Katrina McCain.
Yes. Okay. And next we're going to go to my other pen sister. Actually, I met both of these two on Clubhouse. We're going to start with her first, though. We've been riding since we met. Okay. So let me make sure if I say your pen name wrong, sis, you tell me. Is it Najee?
Najee.
I should have went with my first instinct. Najee. Tell them about your book, sis, and what it is about.
So I wrote a book called Gotta Move On. I don't know if y'all see it because my screen kind of small.
Yeah, we can see it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's Gotta Move On. It's basically a book, a collection of poetry. It was about me going through the change after a breakup. So I decided to let it all out on paper. But what I did that made it different was because I like journaling. You know, all writers like to journal it. Of course, we like to write. So that's why we do what we do. So I decided to use journal quotes on the inside after every poem. So
nice.
Moving it the wrong way. So people can like journal, have a release, you know, lock, reload, release, get it all out on paper, and then, you know, do whatever you have to do for that emotional release because everybody is different. Some people have to write it out, some people have to talk it out. So I decided, like, why not mesh the two?
Nice.
That was that. Mine is available on Amazon.
Yes, look, snap for that. I love that. Yes. Yeah, y'all giving me some good books. And last but not least, my other friend, my pen sister that I met on Clubhouse, Bianca Holmes. Hey, sis, tell me the title of your book and what it is about.
Okay, so I'm Bianca, of course, also as author B. Holmes. And my book is Poison Love.
Ooh.
Now, this is like a heated erotica book. It's a book I put together, but it's based on real life, you know, events and soul ties and all that stuff. So
we'll talk about
it. That's compared to toxic love. That's what you would call that toxic love.
Yes. So, and she is a poet just like you, Poet Katrina. That's what her book has.
Nice.
So I love this. And Can y'all still hear me? I gotta make sure I'm still heard. Okay. Because one of the reasons that I wanted to do different type of love is because my book is coming out in March. And my book is also about love, the past love that hurt you where you don't want to love nobody else.
Ooh.
And I find it that a lot of us women, we all have some type of issues when it comes to love, you know? And I thought it would be great to have authors who write books with these type of issues, whether it's self-love, loving other people, that seemingly toxic love that we just try to get away but we can't. I thought it would be nice to have women who write the book talk about this subject. So y'all ready to dive on in?
Yes, let's do it.
Yes.
Let's
Yes.
dive on in. So first of all, let's start with a good note. Let's talk about the love of our mamas.
Ooh.
I thought about we talk about the love of our mamas because I feel like that the mother is the one who give you that first piece of love as a human being because it starts in the womb. You know what I'm saying?
True.
So we're gonna start with Poet Katrina. Do you want to talk about any type of piece of your history with your mama of that love that you share with her, the special bond you have?
I feel really bad because when I wrote my poetry book, because she decided to love, I did not write a poem for my mom in this book and did not realize it. So we were at my book launch and my mom was flipping through my book and she was like, "So where's the poem for me?" And I was like, I said, "Well, mom, it's a poem in there titled Before Mama Came Home." And it was about my sisters and an encounter that we had before my mama came home. So I was like, "Mama, read that poem. That poem is about you." And it really wasn't, but I had to say something because I was on the spot. I'm in there sweating. And I was like, how did I not write a poem about my mom? I don't think about it that way. But it was awful. But I have a really good relationship with my mom. So I don't know why I did not write a poem about her, but I mean, she has a nice portion in the dedication page, but I don't know why I did. There was no rhyme or reason why I didn't.
It's okay. Well,
Yes.
can you name us a special moment like that you knew the love that your mom had for you was priceless? Because I feel like all of us women go through that moment of life with the love from our
My
mother.
Yeah, my moment was when I was pregnant with my son. I was a teenage mom, pregnancy mom. I was 18 when I got pregnant with my son. And I've always been a very independent person. But when I got in the latter part of my pregnancy, I was glued to my mom's side. Like, I couldn't do anything without calling her, getting her permission. Now I'm a grown woman living on my own at this point. And I couldn't do anything without her permission. And I just remember she was so patient with me. And even when I went into labor with my son, I called her that morning about 2 o'clock. I was like, something is happening. Like, something feel really weird. I don't know what's going on. And she went on to work and she called me a couple of hours later. She was like, "I can't seem to let it go. You need to get dressed. I know you got your bag packed. We on our way to the hospital." And my mom lived, I was in labor for almost 24 hours and my mom was directly 24 hours. And my mom was right by my side the entire time. And I just cannot let that go. And then, she has showed up in my son's life and my granddaughter's life. And those are the most precious moments for me.
Snap to
Thank
the mom.
you.
What about you, Arthur? Bianca, B. Holmes. What's a moment with you and your mom where you just realized the love for you, your mom had for you is just priceless?
Well, I noticed that when I was younger, and as I got, because my mom gave me a lot of tough love, and I didn't understand it as a child, but that's what made me the woman I am today. But the most precious memory I have, I'm a bounce off of co-ed, was when I had my daughter back in 2000.
Mhm.
My mom stayed by my side the whole time. I knew nothing about no babies or nothing like that. By my side. When the doctor had to go up inside me and check for dilation and all that, it was crazy. It was just like, ugh. But she was there, and then so I remember going home and I was, crying because I'm like, I'm not in the hospital no more. Like, what am I gonna do? But when I tell y'all, my mom was the best. She was the best support. Like, she was like, okay, you get your rest. I'm gonna step and watch the child. And when you wake up, I'll go to bed. So it was one, and she's still
Nice.
there.
Yes.
Yeah, she's still there.
Go ahead, mama.
Nice.
Go ahead. All
Yeah.
right. Najee, what about you?
I mean, me and my mom are very close, literally to the point my mama called me for nothing all day long. Like, me and my mom talk at least, I would say, at least 3 to 4 times a day. At the minimum, like that's my best friend. If I don't have nobody else in the world, I know I got my mama, and I can call my mama about anything. And I mean, unlike everybody else, I don't have no kids yet. So God bless y'all hard. Amen. In the
Bless
name
your
of the
heart.
Lord.
You lucky little
In the
child.
name of the Lord.
For real.
Especially if you have a toddler. Bless your heart in the name of the Lord. But I'm not there yet. But I work with kids, so I understand. But my mom, I would honestly say my most cherished moments was seeing my mom work. Like, my mom always was a hustler. Like, she always had multiple jobs, multiple streams of income, even when I was younger. So it's like I learned how to just have a go-getter attitude because I always seen my mama do it. And regardless of what my mom had to do, my mama never missed a band concert, a dance recital, a basketball game, anything competitive. My mom was there, whether it was for me, whether it was for my friends, whether it's for my siblings, whatever it was. My mom always found a way to be the do-it-all mom. And it's like, that's one thing that's priceless to me, because it don't matter who is at your game or your function or whatever. When you look up and you see your mama,
Mm-hmm.
you good. You're at peace. Those nerves kind of ease
Mm-hmm.
themselves. So that, I would say, that's my priceless moment.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Beautiful.
Not to your mama. For me, people laugh, but I say this all the time. I had two mamas. I had my mom and my sister. They co-parent with me. Okay.
Aww.
My mom, she was the soft one. My sister, she was the rough one. uh, and for me, the special moment that I had with both of my moms at the same time was just like the other two ladies. I found out I had to have a C-section after being in labor for 12 hours. And I was crying in tears, and my mom was on one side and my sister was on the other side, and they was holding my hand while I was crying, and they said, "You are a hall woman, okay? You gonna be able to do this." And I was like, "You right, you right." And they wiping my tears and stuff, and my mom's like, "Let's pray," and my sister's making jokes. She said, "Well, at least you're gonna have an after cleanup that's gonna be easy because it's a C-section." I was like, "Yeah, that's true." So that was the moment with all three of us. And the reason I asked y'all about the mother thing is because I looked up on the internet, and the number one mother special moment that they say in every woman's life is when she have a child.
Wow.
That's the number one moment, because that is the special connection where you are transferring not as just their baby, but the woman who brings her a new title into her life, and you're transferring. You gotta jump in there. Come on, Mom. Look, now she wants to say her quick story real quick. Here, sit on the side.
I'm just envious of all of you, because you know why? Because
Can y'all
I got
hear?
pregnant young.
Mm-hmm.
I envy all of y'all, because when I got pregnant young, mom didn't. Well, we didn't get along. She was mad because I got pregnant. So she came to the hospital when I had the baby, but she came angry. So she didn't hold my hand. She didn't do any of that. She ended up leaving. So I had that experience with her dad. I didn't have it with my mom. So my good mother experience wasn't me being a mother. It was me being a grandmother. When I became a grandmother, I was there for the whole thing, and I saw how it should be. I saw how I gave her a good experience, how I made the atmosphere nice for her.
Yeah,
That's
you
what I
did.
did. That's what I did. So that mother experience came from me then. I didn't even get that. I made sure she got something that I didn't get. My mother, she wasn't in the room. She didn't rub my hand. She didn't hold my hand. She didn't do those things because she wasn't ready for that. And I forgive her for that. But that's a moment that we can never get back.
Mm-hmm.
But she was angry at me. I was angry at her. We did not let it go. So that was not the time to work it out. So that's the only part.
Yeah, because on the internet they say that when a woman has a baby, that's when the mother and the daughter transfer into the stage of friendship.
Right. It
Ooh.
should have changed then, but I didn't get that. So I'm
It
angry.
changed,
I was
and I
angry.
believe that is true from my experience. Me and my mom's language changed after I had a baby. I don't know if it's just me, but it changed because my mom was like, "You can say whatever you want. Go ahead, I understand." I was like, "For real? I'm saying everything. I'm saying that." Okay, so now that we talked about that, let's talk about our experience when we first noticed, like, let's talk about how it was for us when we first liked someone.
Mm.
Ooh.
Okay, we ain't saying no names or nothing, but I'll go first so I can say what I mean. For me, I always thought it was the fairy tale thing. And I remembered I wanted that love. So as a kid, when you're little, you think you're gonna get that type of love and you're gonna experience that. But I thought that love was just wanting somebody who hugged you and hold your hands as a kid. So I thought I was in love in kindergarten, but it wasn't that. But that's what I thought. So basically, I guess I kind of want to say, when did you know as a kid that you wanted to experience love? Did you learn it from the movies? Did you see your aunt or your uncle? Like, when did you know that you wanted to experience that kind of love as a kid? So we're going to start with Nij first.
I would honestly say it was my grandparents. Like my grandparents had been married for like 50 something years. At this point, they're at 60, but their 50th, where it was like their legacy of my dad and his siblings and their intermediate families, immediate families, and seeing the collective that and seeing the smile on my grandparents' face as they danced, it was like we were there to witness the moment, but it was like in reality, the only two people that they saw were each other. And it's like that
Can y'all hear?
was my first experience with like seeing love, how love was supposed to be. Because in my in my 29 years of living, I never seen my grandparents argue. I never seen my grandparents upset with each other. I never seen them remotely even raise their voice at each other. And I'm just like, that is how love should be. Like we should know how to communicate efficiently as adults to the point where we don't even have to raise our voice. Like when I give you that look, you should know, okay, pipe down a little bit because you're getting a little ahead of yourself. And it's like my grandparents, it's like they could look at each other a specific way. And later on down the line, I'll probably hear my granddaddy say, okay, I was wrong, or I apologize. And I feel like that is like what genuine love is supposed to be. Like without the toxic nature that we're so conditioned to see and want to be exposed to on the daily. That was my first experience.
Okay. Okay, look, snaps to grandma and grandpa. You might have freezed a little bit, but I was able to hear what Najee had to say. That's all that mattered. I was able to hear you. So if I can hear you, I don't care. So, Bianca, when did you know that you wanted to experience love? Where did you see it from? The movies, your family?
I'm gonna say I get experience a little bit from my family, a bit from movies. So as a kid, you don't really know. You know what you see, but you don't really know. So I get, my family a little bit, and I seen it in movies. So in school, having on a little, little boys and stuff like that. And it's funny because I had a moment where I thought I was in love with a guy in middle school, and so I had done wrote a whole letter, and I had put the Kelly Rowland and Nelly song in there. I just knew, I just knew I was in love then. And so crazy is my mama found it, so I was so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed, y'all. That was so embarrassing. So that's when I experienced it though. It was crazy.
Okay. That's what's up. Look, and don't feel bad because we all had moments when our parents found something we was embarrassed that we
Yes.
wrote.
Yes,
Girl,
my mom was like, "Who you talking about? You little."
Tough.
I thought it was. Girl, I was
right?
speechless. I was speechless. I didn't know what to say.
Yes, look, snap to the ones whose parents found their embarrassing writings.
For real.
All right, Paul Katrina, who did you see as a kid, a movie, whatever it was, that made you say, I want to experience love too?
Mine's have to be reading. I used to read the trashy Harlequin romance books, and everybody had a good ending. She got her man, they live happily ever after. And so reading like 100 of those books, being like 10, maybe 12,
Yeah.
I was like, I want to experience that. Like, I want to ride off in the sunset. I want to, just be in love, and I want to love, and all of this. I think that may have been my first experience. And then, multiple heartbreaks. I'm like, okay, see, this ain't even what love is all about.
I know, right?
For real.
Okay, that's what's up. I love that you got yours from the books. Look,
Yeah.
snap that because we all about books here.
Yes, yes.
But can I say something?
Yeah.
You know what? It's so funny because we always want that fairy tale, but I am a firm believer in we can still have that fairy tale because even the fairy tales had imperfections.
Yeah.
Nothing is perfect, so
Yep.
we have that perfect.
Yeah.
Have that.
I believe in writing your own fairy tale. Just don't think it's going to be like the ones you see.
Right.
But the realistic fairy tales, I
True.
believe.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with that.
Because the perfect fairy tale, like what? It wouldn't be exciting.
I know, right?
It's
It's not exciting. It's not.
You too perfect. You too perfect. Let me go
Be a little dry. It'd be a little dry.
Yeah, let me go ahead and
It's
let
a
me
little
go ahead
dry.
and Google you real quick. Let me check that background because it's a little too perfect.
Right. I agree.
For me, I know it's funny, and I'm really not trying to be funny, but I knew I wanted to experience love from The Lion King.
Oh, that's the
I
movie.
mean, I love the way Simba and Lola was. I was like, oh wow. And then thinking as a kid, and I'm not trying to be funny, I really did say this. I was like, you can be in love and play in the dirt? Like, that's great. I was just like, okay, I want that type of love because they playing around and swinging off trees and stuff. And then they just glanced into each other's eyes. And that's when I was like, wow, I want that. That is beautiful. So it was The Lion King for me.
Wow.
That's The Lion King because I love Lion King.
I love me.
I mean,
yes.
That's my favorite movie. I think that was the movie that devastated though when when his daddy died. I was devastated as a kid. I just couldn't handle it.
It's so funny. It's so funny how we grew up watching these cartoons and how now it relates so much to life.
Mm-hmm.
It does.
Exactly.
So
It's like watching it as a kid. It's like we never thought about it in that way until like you grow up, and then like you get the lessons that your parents, was learning as they was watching the movie. Because I tell people all the time, like kids' movies can be transferable to adults too. Like there's a lot of low key things in kids' movies that teach you a lot as an adult too. You just have to be on point and pay attention. That's it.
Yep.
You ain't never lied. Y'all better be watching these kids' movies and getting them underlying messages because I do.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So now I'm about to ask you the one question that all women have been through. How did you feel when you got your heart broken for that first time? And I mean that real heartbreak. I don't mean that one where you be like, oh, we over, and the next week you're fine. I mean that heartbreak where you was crying over that song.
Oh,
that heartbreak where you was like,
memories.
and stuff because I don't even want it no more. So how was it for you when you went through that first real heartbreak? Bianca, I'm gonna start with you first this time.
Oh my gosh, I thought my life was over. That's the worst kind of pain to experience. Like y'all, I was literally listening to Usher, "You Got It Bad." And you know it was a real heartbreak if you remember the song you was listening to back in the day. I was listening to that song, just crying my little eyes out or whatever, trying to write letters, hated him. Like, how can you break my heart like that? It's worse. It was bad, y'all. It was bad.
I feel you.
Ain't nothing I want to ever go through again. Even though I have, but I'm just like, okay, it ain't really like how it was back then because we didn't really know no better. So we know better now.
True, true, true. What about you,
This is true.
Katrina? How was it for you with your first heartbreak?
It was awful. I was in a relationship with somebody. I don't know. I can't remember the time span, but he lied to me. Well, he was lying to me the entire time. So when I found out he was lying, of course, I didn't want to believe it. I believed him over everybody else. And my song, Bianca, was Missing You by Mary J. Blige. I can hear that song right now. And it took me back to that moment. I was like, I still don't like you. I still don't like you.
Yes.
And that was a very long time ago. And I haven't seen him in, God Almighty, it's been so many years since I've seen him. But it was awful because I remember I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to go to school. I didn't want to pass him. I didn't want to do anything. But just lay there and be miserable. But each heartbreak gets a little easier, a little better. You learn lessons along the way. You know what to look for to prevent it the next time, So it's something that everybody needs to go through.
That's very, very true.
That's
and
true.
as I go to Naja, the people who are watching, if you want to put in the comments that song you played during your breakup, feel free. I'll show that after we finish our answers. So Naja, what about you? How was it for you for your real first heartbreak?
I didn't even get my first real one until I was in adulthood, to be honest. Like high school, I really wasn't dating. I was too focused on school and trying to graduate with honors and stuff. And I looked at boys like, ugh. But in adulthood, I would honestly say it was miserable. It was the most miserable time of my life. And it's like, it got to a point where my friend was like, you know what? I'm not finna let you do this by yourself. Let's just go get some Hennessy. We finna eat a couple of donuts. We finna watch some movies. We finna cry it out together. We go get through it. But I'm not finna let you go through this alone because you looking real distraught right now. But I mean, at the time, it was like painstaking. But then it's like when you realize all the junk that you went through that got you to that moment, it's like, okay, what was I really crying for? Because like this person really did me in and they tried me like I was a buster. So what am I crying for exactly? You know? And I once like my friend helped me get to that point, it was just like, all right, it's gonna be other dudes. Hopefully they don't do the same thing as this. Like hopefully it get just like, Katrina said, it gets easier with time as you learn the lessons that you're supposed to learn. So it wasn't after that. I'm just like, please, okay, bye.
Yes, 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 yes. And for me, it was terrible. As y'all said, it was just terrible. And me, I'm gonna tell you a story. It's not really a story, but it's short. I'm gonna be short with it. My sister, when she used to go through something, she used to play her music all loud, singing all these, playing it. I'd be like, she get on my daggone nerves playing her little song. What's wrong with her? Because she was going through whoever she was with. And then my turn came. She said, "You know what you need, right?" I was like, "No." She said, "You got to play a song to get it out." And she played Keisha Cole for me. That song, "You Change," I had that on repeat for 3 days. I was singing, "You Change." I was crying. But I was feeling better. I said, okay, that's why she played the songs over and over and over. Yours was Pretty Young Thing. That was your breakup song? She said her breakup song was "Pretty Young Thing" by Michael Jackson.
Oh wow!
Why was that your song? No, that's an ugly
Hey,
song.
I mean that's different.
Oh, she said she thought she was a pretty young thing, so she was crying. She said, "I guess I'm not." I thought,
Yeah, that's
okay,
understandable.
okay, that makes sense now.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But that was
So now that we got into that question, I want to ask your opinion of why do you feel that after a breakup that it's so hard for women to want to even try to love again? Why do you think it's so hard for them? Anyway, I'm gonna let y'all put your hand up if you want to go first, because that's a big question. Who
That's
wants?
a big question.
Okay, Naja did it first. Go ahead.
I would say it's because as a woman, we are nurturers. So our instinct is to protect, but it's also to give ourselves constantly, even when we're not getting it in return. Because at that point, it's like as a woman, you're known to nurture, you're known to protect, you're known to be there, you're known to care for, you're known to love, have compassion, have all these good qualities. And sometimes when the breakup is over, it's like, dang, I gave all of myself. I put all of my energy into making this person, better as you would, do a child. Then it's like they flip. And it's like that's a reality check when you realize, like, man, I don't put all my love and time and devotion into this. And now it's like time is something that you can't get back. So when you realize that you wasted that becomes a trigger. And then it's like, wow, like I don't even get my time back. Like not even my money. I don't care about money, but my time. I don't get my time back. I don't get my love back. And it's like that becomes a trigger because it's like, man, you could have did me better than that. You didn't even have to stoop that low and do me like that, but you did that. And it's like, as a woman, we take that personal because it's like, just like I said, we're so good at heart that when we don't get it in return, or we realize somebody taking that for granted, it's like, it's a no-go. It's a no.
That's so true.
That's
Good,
my
Bianca, on
that's
you.
my answer to
That's
that
so
one.
true.
And thank you, Naya, for that, because that was true. I love how you said you can't get that time back. You ain't never lied. I felt
Yep.
that in my soul. Okay.
And I'm gonna definitely pick it back off Najee because she said some stuff I was going to say as well. But I would definitely say because a lot of times as women we put up with a lot, we deal with a lot, and of course as women we get attached emotionally, we get attached fast. So once we're over that relationship, it is kind of hard for us because we don't want to go through the same thing. We want to take our time, but sometimes as women, we do become vulnerable, and then we do go back into something else, going through the same thing. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, Katrina, I want to ask you, and I'm not making fun of her when I say OG, y'all, because she really is one of my OGs. She's the third person I ever interviewed. I want to ask you
Aw.
your advice. As the mommy of the group, what would you give a young person advice that's going through a heartbreak that feel like it's over and they just can't do it? What would your advice be to them?
To hang on. Each day gets a little better. You gotta get through those tough couple of days or hours or months, years, however long it takes. But I promise you, if you ever get back to the point where you realize your self-worth, regardless of how bad you got done wrong, you will never tolerate that again in your life. So if you never get any other lesson out of a heartbreak, that's the first thing. And then the second thing is that, and I have this in my book, y'all. I mean, no joke. Love is the most beautiful thing in this world. We cannot live without it. And if you choose to live without love, then you are really, really punishing yourself because of what somebody else did to you. So I just say you just got to get through it. Keep pushing through. You just got to realize your self worth all over again. Because every heartbreak, it kind of does a little damage to your self worth. Mine too. But you got to get back to that point where you love you and you are the most important person in your life and not this joker that broke your heart.
yep,
Yes.
that's true.
And I gotta show some of these comments, y'all. We've been getting comments, but it's been getting so good, I ain't want to stop. So we all have songs. You see everything when you're done. Yeah, you do. Mine was I hate everything about you by 3 days grace. For real, Naja. Say it, sis. Snap, 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 snap. I know when y'all snap. Cut it out. I love it, Granny. So within going through that, yeah, what do you want to say on that, Mom?
I want to say to me, love is like a cold.
Love is like a cold, she said. What do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is we all can catch it, but we do it differently.
She said we all can catch it like a cold, but we do it differently.
Mm-hmm.
Go through it.
Come on, Mama, with the wisdom. Come on.
And depending on how you treat it, that will determine how you get through it. So when you get the next cold, you can handle it better.
Yes,
or
ma'am.
you might not catch it at all, she said. Go ahead.
Hey.
Go ahead. Come on, girl. Girl, you gonna have everybody using that look.
For real. For real.
Like I tell you, you take the medicine and get better.
Yeah, because she said she sign off with Mama Katrina. She said you could take this medicine and choose to get better, or you could be stuck in heartbreak forever. It's up to you.
For real.
Go ahead, Mama. Sitting on the sideline dropping them gems. Right? So within us talking about that moves me into my next subject of why do you think, it's so hard for us women when it comes to self-love. Like we want other people to love us and give us that approval, but we have a hard time loving ourselves and being by ourselves. Because I feel like when you have a hard time loving yourself, you have a hard time being by yourself, where you feel like you need a man or you need a woman, whoever you prefer. So with Katrina, why do you feel that women struggle with self-love?
I think because I'm going to piggyback off what both of these ladies said already, how we are just nurturers and we give so much all the time. And so we are always in that mindset to give, make other people's lives better. And unfortunately, we always are on the back burner. And when you don't have that love in your life, or you don't have, let's say you don't have kids, your kids are grown and empty nest, then you kind of lost your identity. Like, who am I at this point? So a lot of us don't know how to tap back in and think about, hey, I was single at one point. Hey, I haven't always had kids. So it's kind of hard. But I think once your kids start getting up to a certain age, you got to start finding yourself again. And I know young moms, you got to pour it all in, because I did the exact same thing. My son is 25 and I still run around here doing stuff for him if he asks me to. But the difference is I've started doing stuff for myself and started like putting back into me. If I want to go get a massage, I do it. Don't feel guilty about the money that I spend. If I want to go get my nails done, then I do it and don't feel guilty about it. Like, I work hard every single day. And it hasn't been that way where I came first. So I think that's just because of the way that we are, women are, period. Whether you're a mother or not, I think it's just the way that we are.
And I really, really love that you brought that up for the mother's perspective, because I even went through that. I'm sure Bianca knows what you meant too. We all went through that stage where we just forgot to love ourselves, and we've been so much kids that we forgot to take care of ourselves. You know, how we doing our house dresses around the house, but the kids is looking all right, and we looking our mouths, we ain't get our nails done, hair done. So
yes,
I feel you on that. Thank you, Katrina, for that. Bianca, why do you feel women have a hard time with loving themselves?
Okay, just to kind of piggyback off of poor Katrina, Miss Katrina. I think a lot of time when it comes to us dating, we lose ourselves a lot. We're trying to invest all this time. We trying to show these men this and that. We tend to lose ourselves. So once we break up, our self-esteem go down a little bit, because we kind of forget, about our self-love, what we've been doing. So I think that's where it comes in at.
So Naja, I want you to ask the question, but not only that, because your book talks about this stuff. What would also be your advice for a woman to start loving herself again? So ask the first question, then the second one.
You want me to answer yours first? The question you just asked
Yeah,
first,
we'll
or
answer the question about
answer the one that they
self-love.
answer first?
And then no, about the self-love question.
Oh,
And then what would be your advice to start trying to get back to self-love?
okay. So the self-love question, I feel like it's a hard thing because when you're in self-love, you also have to realize the self-reflection part that comes with it after the relationship. It's like what, because I feel like in relationships, all, I ain't gonna say all women, but most of us feel like everything that we did was perfect. But in reality, when we look in the mirror, we realize there was some times that we exhibited anger, or we could have communicated better, or we could have nagged
Mm-hmm.
less, or we could have, found a better way that was less aggressive to say some things. So it's like in that time you're really looking in the mirror at yourself and trying to fix those things that you did wrong in that relationship, so that you're not taking it to the next one and just continuing the process of, and the cycle of, okay, now I'm repeating. So what am I going to change to tweak the things that I know need to be tweaked in order to make this better than what it was in my past?
I love
And the
That's
that.
advice
true.
for self-love, I would say start first. I would say start first with going out by yourself, because I feel like nowadays, like, people are so afraid to go out by themselves. But me, if ain't nobody else gonna go out to eat, I'm gonna go out to eat by myself, and I honestly don't care. And I got to the point where it's like I learned this little trick, because I don't remember what movie I watched, but I remember there was a movie where like they had said two people, and then after a while with them sitting at the table by themselves, they ended up getting like free dessert. So it's like I went out by myself one night and I tried. I was like, "Oh, it's gonna be two people," and then after like an hour or so, I was like, "Oh, it's just gonna be me." And it's like, I tried to fake a little sad or whatever, and I did end up getting free dessert. So it's like in that time, it's like I learned little
Okay.
knickknacks that even though I was by myself, that didn't mean that I didn't have to enjoy myself. Like sometimes you enjoying your own company brings the person that is
Mhm.
meant to be into your life. But you have to get to that point where it's just like by myself, ride or die, I'm gonna make it happen, because I've been making it happen. Like outside of relationships, I feel like we forget who we are as women, just like
Mhm.
some like all of us have said before. So it's like once you don't have that relationship anymore, you have to get back into yourself, have to dig into all of that, and unload some stuff that you carried in that relationship. And then when you get back to yourself and you realize, like, hey, like, I'm kind of bomb, I'm kind of dope. It's like
Right?
it's never too late to get to that point. And I feel like even in relationships, we have to get to the point where we do have time outside of our spouse or time outside of our relationship to have me
Yep.
time, because it's like
Yep.
if you
Definitely.
all the time up under them, y'all start to get aggravated with each other a whole lot. So it's like having some me time in relationships too is a good thing. And you just
Mhm.
have to learn self-care and self-love, because as long as you're loving yourself, you're able to love your partner 10 times better than you were if you weren't, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
it
Okay.
does.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it.
Let's
And I
go.
definitely, I definitely want to,
Let's do that.
I definitely want to
Yeah.
say, oh, I definitely want to say, definitely start with yourself and be truthful with yourself. And I say that because I know I had a
Come
problem.
on.
I had a problem with that back in the day. Blaming everything on the other person, but not taking a look at myself. So that's the first step to your self love. Be truthful with yourself. And I
Mm-hmm.
want to also stretch to people. See a therapist. It will not hurt. People be so afraid to see therapists. See a therapist because you will be
Yeah.
amazed how much will come out when you're
Right.
talking to someone that can hear
Good.
you out and help you through your problems. And after that, treat yourself. Treat yourself. Like for me, for my self love, I started ballroom dancing. That's what I do now. I ballroom.
Yes.
Nice.
And she
Yes.
be looking good
I
when she go
Oh,
out.
I
come
take it from
on. Learn
because I'm
something
in.
new.
Oh yes, I'm in school now. I'm in school, and then I'm writing books. So two, maybe probably like 1 to 2 days out the week. I say 2 days at the most because I do things with my kids as well. But for myself, time away from my kids is my ballroom dancing, and it's so fun, y'all.
Nice.
It's so fun.
Nice.
Sounds
I
good.
love
Yeah,
it.
she be getting all dressed up and everything. She sent me pictures. I was like, "Oh, where you going?
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
Ballroom dancing." I said, "Who's taking you?"
yes.
I said,
So it's okay, like step outside the box a little bit. And with me, before all this quarantine, all this COVID and stuff, I was the person that was taking myself out to eat and going to the movies. I did not care. I went to the movies one time to see The Strangers. I
Come
was
on,
the only
sis.
person in there with a blanket with my feet propped up. I didn't care. People be like, "How you do that? Self love, baby. That's self love." I love
"Yes,
to know that I can enjoy my own company. I don't need nobody behind. I can. I'm fine. I'm fine. It brings you a peace of mind when
It
you're by yourself.
does.
You can
It
think straight.
does.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So I definitely want to throw
Come
that in
on,
there.
talk about
What
it,
I say,
sis.
yeah, sugar mama."
this is what I say. I say sometimes we confuse being conceited with self love. Now it's all right to be say, you know what?
Ooh.
You look pretty good, doggone good, your mama. That's all right. You can say that without being conceited. But you're going over too far that way, B. But you can say that to yourself, and that's okay to say it to yourself. Just don't go way over to the other side and say I'm better, I'm cuter than everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Say that, but you don't say you go good.
Cause that look, that was me. My mama already know. I don't need nobody give me no compliment. I give it to myself. I'll be like, I'm all
Right?
that in a bag of
Because
chips,
you don't want to
whether
get
you
tell you
get it
that.
or
You
not.
just go crazy.
And
No,
the next one
they
thing,
say that to you. Thank you, but you already know that.
can I?
I know that.
Go ahead, Bianca.
Oh, I want to interrupt, but I also want to say to everyone. Okay, so you know how we have the days at our house, we be lazy, we don't want to do nothing.
Yeah,
Dress up. It will make you feel so good because
that's
man,
how much the rest of the house.
when you sitting around the house moping around that energy, you know you feel like you're dressed. So now
Yes.
when I'm not doing anything, I don't care if I'm not doing anything. I'm getting up, I'm putting on clothes. I don't care if I gotta go to Dollar General around the corner. I'm gonna dress up.
Exactly,
That's
sis.
true. That is true. I love that. And I
Mhm.
feel like another reason, I'm sure Poe Katrina would agree with me on this. I feel that another reason that people, the women, have problems with self love is from low self esteem of being scarred from when you was a kid. What I mean by that is you had family members tell you
Yeah,
when you was a kid that you
that's
was
good.
big, and you
That's
wasn't
good.
even big when you look at that picture.
That's good.
Because
Mhm.
people used to tell me when I was a kid, you big, you big. I looked at them pictures, I was skinny. And I was like, because I believed that, I did big people things.
Yeah.
Because I thought you was telling me the truth. And
Mhm.
I just feel like a lot of people, they put that on us as girls. When it comes to our appearance,
Right.
I feel like we are the ones who get judged the most. And
Mhm.
that's why we have such a hard
Most.
Black
time
girls and
with
black
self
girls.
love. My
Black girls.
skin's too dark, or my skin's too light, or my belly's too big, or my butt's too small, my boobs ain't big enough. It's always something to do with how people, make us feel about the way we look. And I feel like that's the biggest reason why women have a hard time with self love. And I'm here to tell you, honey, you look good. Whoever that woman is, you look good. Don't listen to them. Okay. And if you feel like, because there's even family members who tell you because you look that way, you ain't never going to get a man. Honey, men is like kids in a candy store. They love every different kind of candy.
Mhm.
You won't find a man that's going to love your type of candy. So they
Mhm.
ain't telling the truth.
You
Okay.
That's
better
the
say
truth.
that. You better say that.
I'm
I
just
think
saying. I'm just
a lot.
saying.
I think people get caught up, like you say, people get caught up in appearance, looking a certain kind of way that they just themselves. So they trying to be like this person or trying to be, shaped this way or that way or however the case may be. But just be yourself. Be truthful to yourself. Live in your truth.
Yes.
Because people are going to say what they say regardless.
Mm. You
Whether
ain't
you're
never
skinny,
lied.
big, whatever it is, be yourself. Live in your truth. Because if you don't live in your truth, you'll never be. If you out chasing trying to be like this and that person, you're gonna always be miserable.
Yes. So, Poet Katrina, I want to ask you because you are like me. We wifeys up here. So I wanted to ask you, um, what was it like when you knew? that that person was the one for you, that you knew that person would love you right?
Okay, so for the record, I am a single lady.
Oh, wait, you are?
I am so single.
Power
Single
Katrina,
men.
you look so good. I just knew somebody married you up. You know how you got the women that look so good? You be like, you know she married.
I confuse myself. I don't know why. But let me tell you, I've had some really good loves in my life.
Okay, so give us some
I really
wisdom.
have. I've had some really good loves. I've had some really hard heartbreaks, but I've also had some really good loves. And I think it was for me, the last love that I had. I mean, it was really great. It was sweet while it lasted, but it was initially the way that we vibed. And it was like instantly the respect level was there, and it was really the way that we vibe. If I was in a silly mood, then 9 times out of 10 he was in a silly mood. If I needed advice about something, he was my go-to person, and then vice versa. We just kind of got along really good. But I will say, like, our main thing that kind of drew us together and kept us together the while we were together was love, respect, honesty, and loyalty. If you don't have any of that in a relationship, you might as well be single. But hey, I'm single, okay, people.
And it's funny that look, it's funny when I said that. Somebody else said, right, me too. I'm like,
No.
look, I'm not the only one. Somebody else said it. I thought for sure Katrina was sold and locked. Look, we all did. But look,
Granny, I don't know what the problem
but you
is.
know what it is? Because you got that. That's the version of self love. When somebody's so
Mhm.
confident and so whole, and I just made a mistake of doing it. You automatically think, well, they're so happy and all this, and that because they're in a wonderful relationship. She just showed us, no, honey, I'm in a wonderful relationship by myself. That's
Mhm.
by
why I'm so happy.
by myself. I've been single for almost 2.5 years. But when you think about like your whole life, a man is like an addition to. Like, I have so much
Mhm.
stuff going on in my
Say
life.
that.
And I honestly don't think I have the proper time to date right now. I would love to date. I would love to have a special man in my life, but I don't have time. Where am I gonna meet him at? Like, if the Lord don't like let him knock on my door, I'm probably gonna miss him, to be honest. Because I work full time. I'm writing my second book. I'm marketing this first book. I'm making connections like this, networking with people all the time. I don't have time to date, but if you out there, Mr. Right, hey, come find me, boo.
Come find Katrina. And look,
Find
and
me.
you better come with something to put on the table because this is a boss
For real.
lady right
High
here.
five.
Okay. So if
For
you ain't
real.
moving, there ain't even no reason to come up to this
And
table.
don't come
Okay.
Ain't no
half-stepping.
need. It ain't
Don't
no
come
need.
Ain't
half-stepping.
even no. So I'm gonna give Bianca a chance to talk to because she actually she looked up about the love languages. And I wanted her to tell us about some of that, and she had some other things she want to talk about. So go ahead, Bianca.
Okay, so you got the words of affirmation. You have the acts of service, which is mine. You have the receiving gifts, the quality time, and the physical touch.
Yes, them is the love language laws. And I'm affirmation. If you want to go find out what your love language is, you can look it up on Google like me and Bianca did. And they
Mm-hmm.
actually have a test where they ask you questions. And mine is affirmation. I need people to talk to me. I need you to tell me. Them gifts don't mean nothing. You need to do this.
And
Because
mine
I
is
do this, so I need somebody that do that. Well, I got somebody that do that. I am taking.
and
So
mine
he do this all the time.
mine is acts of service. I'm the type of person I like to, do special things for my significant other, and I put a lot of effort into it to make
Okay.
it special. And it could be something small, but it could be something so simple. But I like putting, the effort in it. So that's me.
Yeah, so that's a good question. How do you like to be loved? Naja?
I would say my love language is a mix. I'm a touch. I like to be touched. I like words of affirmation because I want to know that you really in this thing for real. And I'm also a gifts person because I'm a person that like to give gifts, but I also like to get them as well. So that's why I say I'm a good little mix when it comes to love languages.
Okay. All right, what about you, Pug Katrina? Now that they know you single, they gonna want to know what your love language is.
I think I'm a mix as well. And I actually did the love language test some years ago. And I cannot remember like what my top language was, but they all were so close together. And just like Najee, all of mine were right there together. It was touch, it was gifts, and it was also words of affirmation. But now that I think I'm a little bit older, I don't know what it would be. Back then, I think it was words, because like, I needed to know. But then, some people can come along and can sell you some wolf tickets. They can tell you anything that you want to hear, and it may not be true. So I'm not quite sure what my love language is now. Maybe I need to take another love language test. I don't know.
We're gonna need you to take that test and let us
I'm
know.
gonna do it. I'm
Yes.
gonna do it.
Bianca, did you want to ask anything else before I ask the last question?
You asked me.
Yeah, I'm saying, did you want to ask us another question before I do one last question?
Let's see.
Well, she probably like Sister Goose. She done asked all the questions. I ain't got none now.
Yeah. I think that's it for me.
Okay. Well, we're about to get into our last question, and then after we do this last question, I'm going to let these ladies tell you again their book and the title and a little bit of what it's about and where y'all can go get it. So our last question for the night. Okay, and y'all had time to think about it, so y'all should have some kind of answer. But I'll go first so you can think some more. Our last question for the night is what was your best kind of experience of love? What was the best kind of experience of love for you? And for me, one of the best kind of experience of love for me is my sister. She's the best kind of experience of love for me because me and her are not only best friends, but I can feel her pain. She can feel mine. We are attached at the hip, okay? Our significant others had to accept that we are like this and you can't change this. We next door neighbors. That's how close we are.
Wow.
We got to experience being pregnant together, and that was the best moment of my life. Me and her was pregnant together, and our babies is like 24 days apart. So we got to experience that together, and she just knows me. I don't gotta say anything. She knows what I'm thinking. She knows what I'm feeling. She knows just from the look on my face if I'm having a bad day. And I love that she knows what to say to make me smile, or especially when I'm depressed. She knows what to say to make me get up. So that's my best experience of the type of love. And at first it wasn't even great because we didn't even like each other. But when we got older, that love grew strong. So that's one of my best experience of the type of love that I've experienced in my lifetime. So I'm gonna go from Nija. Let's start with you. What's yours?
Whew. I would say outside of my mom, it was in a previous relationship. Like we coexisted together pretty decent. Like me being a writer, he was also a writer, so it was like a good mesh. It's like it was the first relationship where I could be in silence and it was okay. Because I was doing what I was doing and he was doing what he was doing. It's like we had our own individual lives, but at the end of the day, we were spending time together, which was very different for me. It was a different. It didn't involve sex. It didn't involve anything of that nature. It was just the fact of intimacy without it being sexual, and I think that was something that I will never forget because most men nowadays is like, it's just okay. I'm gonna tell you what I need to tell you in order to get what I want, and once I get what I want, then I'm good with it. But it's like with him, it was the complete opposite. It was like always peaceful. We never argue. We know how to communicate. We never hit below the belt. It was a really, really dope experience. And that was what I would say was my greatest experience with love.
That's good.
I gotta snap to that. That was so
That was
good.
good. Yeah.
That was so good. Oh my goodness, girl. You almost caught me. Okay, Bianca, what was your best experience of love?
My best experience of love have been in one past relationship, but I'm going to say the greatest alongside of God and my mom was my children because they pushed me to be the person I am today. Like before I had kids, I stayed on go. Like sis was on go. I stayed on go. I was here and there and everywhere. But when I had my daughter, it stopped a lot of stuff. I got myself together. I graduated college. So I'm definitely going to say my kids, you know, they made me the person I am today. They
I love
love,
that.
and they keep me going every day. They keep me going every day. And I made a vow to them to be the best mom,
Mhm.
the best mom, the best
Hmm.
woman, the best mom to them. I put them first. That's why I made them a book. So you guys can check that out too. I got them a book together. I'm the co-author. They are the authors. You know, just showing them that you dream big, things can happen.
Mhm.
Anything is
Mhm.
possible. Anything is possible. Anything.
Well, while Pearl Katrina do her turn, tell one of your kids to bring you that book so you can advertise that book too.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Pearl Katrina, because I think I know your answer. I
Right.
still
We
want you
talked
to
about
say
this before, right?
it.
So mine is I thought it was being a mom. So again, I had my son when I was 18, and I became a grandmother when I was 40. And the first second that I laid my eyes on my granddaughter, like when I say it was the greatest experience I've ever had in my life. And I remember going to the hospital. She had some health issues, and I remember going in there seeing her. I cannot sing. Let me say that up front. But I would go in there and sing to her, and just like the reaction, and she always know who her nana was. And even now, I could be in my room working, and I can hear her coming down the hallway, and she'll come around the corner. Hey, Nana, you all right? You having a good day? And I'm like, that's my girl right there. And it's something special about being a mom, but it's something extra special about being a grandmother. It really is. If you ever get to experience that, it really is. And I'm sure Sugar Mama can attest to that with those
Look, you
grandbabies.
know, now you know she getting that. How you know? You know she getting that. Here she go.
Come on, sugar mama.
This is look featuring Sugar Mama.
Okay, but see,
Right.
it was an easy answer. I'm
Okay.
gonna say, the first one I got two. First one is my mom. At the end of her life, she was terminally sick, so she shared a piece of herself, to me that she never gave to me growing up. And I loved it, but same thing, I was angry because it only lasted for a short while. So I didn't have that for a long time. My other one is this one right here, because me and her shared something different when I became sick. Me and her got close. She
Yeah.
gave me that kind of love that no matter what I did, she didn't let go. I mean, I've done some things that people would have just said, you know what, hell with you, I ain't got time for this. But she never did. No matter what, she never did. You know what? Trying to make me cry. Go to your couch, Mom.
She right. She right. Me and my mom, when she got sick, we made a commitment, like a marriage, till death do us part, and ain't no leaving each other on the table. So
That's
I know
awesome.
what you mean. So yeah, but that's a mother's love too. You know, mother's
Yeah.
not gonna leave you either. So look, you got somebody who agreed with you, but she said, "Oh yes, being a granny is the most wonderful experience."
It is. It's amazing.
It's Granny Wowzer. Right. So I'm going to let these lovely ladies one more time tell you the title of their book, a little bit of what it's about, and tell you where to go get their book. And I'm also going to have them leave the information in the comments of where to go get their book after this interview too. So, Poet Katrina, we're gonna start with you, the OG of Black Girls Inc.
Yay! Again, I am poet Katrina McCain. I am the proud author of Because She Decided to Love. This is a collection of poetry, all kinds of love in here. Parental love, sibling love, loving in relationships. Of course, I gotta add heartbreak in if you're gonna be loving somebody of the opposite sex or same sex, as Barbie said before, whichever you prefer. And then my relationship with God is so strong, I could not do a book without dedicating a portion to God. And then just because of the times that we're living in right now, I had to do a social issue section. I shout out Black men in my section. There's no way I could have done a book without shouting out Black men because I don't think they get the credit that they deserve every single day. So my book can be purchased on my website, www.poetkatrinamccain.com. It is also available on Amazon in paperback and Kindle. And I am on all social medias, Twitter, McCain Poet, Facebook and Instagram at Poet Katrina McCain. If you follow me, I promise you, I will follow you back.
Oh, and hold up, she didn't say it. I'm gonna say it for her. She also sells these nice cups.
Oh!
Okay, I wasn't gonna let my sister go without saying that. She's selling these nice cups with her books, y'all.
I keep forgetting about it.
Website. I got you. Make sure you go to your website to get that little treats and stuff on there you can get too. Okay,
Yes.
I got you, Katrina. We family.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, and I will say this: if you order my book through me, through my website, every book literally touches my hand. I autograph every book. I even put something special inside of the envelope, letting you know, hey, I appreciate you. You could have spent your money anywhere else, but you spent your money on me. So that's just my way of giving back and just saying thank you. I don't discourage people from ordering from Amazon because most people like to order from Amazon, but it's whatever. Either way, as long as you're supporting. There you go, Barbie. Look at that beautiful thing.
Yes. And even wrote me a nice personal note. She writes personal
I
notes
did.
in all of them.
I
Yes.
really do. I definitely do. Even if I don't know you, I can still say thank you in the nicest way that I can come up with.
Now you look. I just had to have her say something about the cup and stuff, y'all. Couldn't let my sister go without saying that.
I keep forgetting about the cup, right?
Don't worry, I got you. All right,
Thank you.
You better have my baby's books over there. You got their book yet? Because if not, I'm skipping you.
No, it's at the house.
All right. Go ahead, show your book still.
But I'm gonna shout them out. Don't worry, I'm gonna shout them out. So my book is Poison Love. Well, I'm author is B. Holmes. My book is Poison Love, and I have Poison Love 2. And a little about my book, it's about a married couple with some infidelity and stuff like that, and getting caught up in the soul ties. That's why I don't have written soul ties. For people who don't believe soul ties are real, they are really real. And it could be a dangerous game that can land you in positions or predicaments you cannot get out of.
That's the
So
truth.
if you are married or if you're in a relationship, you want to step out, just be single. Don't get caught up in it. Don't get caught up in it. When you know better, do better, and please do better. Because if you in it too deep, it's something that you would have to pray your way out of. It just goes deep. Nobody knows how deep soul ties go. They go deep. So my book is not only a story that I put together, it's something for people to get a message out of. And then not only that, you got diseases going around too. So
you ain't never lied. And on top of that, you got corona now. So you got to get where you kiss too. So.
That's the truth.
Yes, and I would like to. First I'm gonna tell you where you can purchase it. Then I'm gonna shout out my children's book. So you can purchase my books on Amazon, Books A Million, eBay, Walmart, and Barnes and Noble. And my kids has a book, and I feel so bad because I should have brought it. Don't judge me. But their book is called My Life as a Big Sister, and it's just a book of them, things they do on a daily basis. So it's a real story. And I actually got someone to draw pictures to look like them instead of just, being like made up characters, made up animation. So, and their book was number 3 Their book was #3 top seller in California, and their book had just hit India. So
Congratulations.
I have some more coming for them. So be on the lookout. You can purchase their book on Amazon and Books A Million.
Awesome.
Yes. Look, them is our babies, Bianca. I'm claiming them. Them is our babies.
Yes.
All right, Nadia. Can you tell people the title of your book and what it's about?
My book is called Gotta Move On. It is a book about basically breakups and self-reflection and getting back into that self-love phase. It also has journal quotes on the inside for you to journal, get all of it out. After each and every poem, there's a journal quote. So you can rip it out, burn it, trash it, do whatever you need to do to get that releases. And my book is also available on Amazon and paperback and Kindle.
Girl, you had me where it's a personal journal inside. She said you could rip it out, burn it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I love that. I love that.
I do too. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yes. So make sure that you get all 3 of these lovely
But you
ladies'
know, like
books.
a lot of people like a lot.
I couldn't hear. Can y'all hear?
I said a lot of people have to. Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Go ahead, sis.
I'm kind of freezing over here in and out. Can y'all hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, because a lot of people they have burn journals now, where some people when they do write it out, they go ahead and they burn it. So I saw one girl, she sent me a message. She was like, in order for me to really release in my process, she was like, she ripped it out and she burned it. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And she was like, then she told me about burn journals, which I've heard about them, but I've never really seen one. But just like, yeah, it's very inspiring. Those people who love fire, it's a good thing for them because they just like to burn stuff. But she was like, yeah, it was like a real release of what was, and it's like once you burn it, you forget what's on the pages. Because this was like I was happy to burn it. I was just like, okay, it's all right. I'm a little scared, but whatever you
don't be scared.
Get it out. Whatever works for you, works for you. If you gotta burn it, just go ahead and write what you need to write and burn it. Just throw it in the fire.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yes, I'm gonna get that book. That book. Yes. And it's a one look. I know y'all laughing at me, but it's a wonderful healing. Burn it. Telling you. You have to wait to exhale, mom. You're gonna be like, yeah. Like the exit as it burns. I'm just saying. That's just from Sister Goose perspective. Please make sure that y'all go support my pen sisters and get their book because they got books of all different type of loves as you've seen, and I'm sure one of these books will work great for you. And I just have to thank all 3 of you for being here. Thank you so much. I had so much fun, y'all.
Yes.
Me too. I loved it. And can I say one more thing?
Yes.
Okay. For my single ladies, I challenge you guys on Valentine's Day to treat yourself. Don't worry about nobody asking you out. If you have kids, take them out. That's what I do. I take my kids out. I'm gonna challenge you guys. Take yourself.
Yeah, look.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that is good. That is good.
Look, hold on. I gotta show this one. Thanks, Dutch. She had my back. She said, just be careful when you burn and stuff. If you put any energy in it, things can get tricky. You right. Don't put energy into it. I don't want nobody setting their house on fire and said, Sister Goose, okay, waiting to exhale. I didn't say do all that. That's a bad moment. That's not waiting to exhale.
Please don't.
Do not do it. And waiting to exhale.
That is so funny. That is so funny.
Do not be letting my book influence you to burn it down, okay?
Right? That's what I'm saying. Like I said, left eye and waiting to exhale, two different things.
I know that's right.
Two different things. Thank y'all so much for coming on the show.
Exactly.
I really appreciate
course.
all three of y'all. I had a really, really, really good time.
Thanks for
Me
having us.
too.
Thanks for having
Me
us.
too. Hey, I want to say real quickly, Bianca, Najee, it was nice meeting y'all. But
Thank you
Sister
for
Goose,
the
I have to
invite.
shout you out. You are forever giving women, and men too, because I see everything else you're doing too, but you're forever giving us a positive platform to come to. And I appreciate that. I appreciate you. And I tell you that all the time. It's not anything that you're going to ask me to do that I'm going to say no. So we're in this together, and I appreciate you.
Yes.
That's why you my OG. I told you, that's my OG right there. You ain't to the end. Okay.
I want to say I'm so happy as well that I met her in Clubhouse and we connected just like that. We don't talk all the we probably went like a few times without talking, but we FaceTime every morning. We tell each other good morning.
Yeah.
Hey, have you started writing? She is such a positive person, and I am thankful for her. I really am.
She is.
Y'all better cut it out. Anybody tell y'all to do all that?
Come on now.
Well, look, she said, come on.
I met both of y'all on Clubhouse together.
Oh yeah.
So you know.
Yes.
We all met on Clubhouse together. Y'all pen sisters for life.
Oh
right?
yeah.
10 sisters for life.
And you know, Najee, she likes to be by the beach and stuff. And I can't come. So I told her anytime the waves start roaring or you go wild, you feel talking crazy because you didn't take me with you.
Well, everybody, that is our show. I will not be on tomorrow, so you guys will not see me until Monday. I do want to remind you though, open mic is February 19th at 7 p.m. All are welcome, and you can come on and just read a little bit of your book and tell people where they can go buy it. Anything like that. I'm letting the mic be open for anything. Come share your poem, your spoken word, spit a little flowetry, or just come on and tell us about your business and where we can go. The mic is open to all. So make sure you are here February 19th. And also, we are still doing our free giveaway. And all you got to do to get in the giveaway is leave a review on our page on Facebook. And if you leave a review, you will be in the raffle to win a free mug and some other goodies. So it's free. Why not just leave the review so you can get some? Why not?
Yeah.
Well, y'all, that's the end of our show. As always, I love doing this with my writing family, my pen sisters. Thank you one last time. I am your girl, Sister Goose, and we are Black Girls Inc. Snap you later.